Man, I need to do my roots. Hi, everybody. My name is Charlotte McFarland, and welcome to the Depression Vlog. I found myself wondering today, although it is kind of calming down a little bit here, but I'm like, what chapter of Revelations are we in today? Ta-da. Actually, it's been a fairly good day, and I have been turning off the news because I'm done. I don't want to hear it anymore. I pretty much get the gist of what's going on, so we'll let that sit for a little bit. This topic actually comes to you from, not going to name them because I don't want to make them unhappy, but I know an individual who likes to one-up everything. Do you know someone like that? It doesn't matter what it is, what schooling you have, what you know, your expertise, whatever. They just have to one-up everything that you say. They know something better than you. They know something, I don't know. It's just everything is one-upping. And I was having a conversation with this person the other day, and when I say the other day, this could mean like weeks or months ago. I'm not going to give you a time frame, but I remembered it today, and I just kind of was like, wow, I can't stand people like that. And then I realized that people in glass houses can't throw stones because I used to live in that particular glass house. Yes, at one point, Charlotte McFarland, was a one-upper. And I cringe at the memories, I really do, and I'm sure the people that know me cringe at those memories too. The reason that I was a one-upper though, and here's me justifying it, not really. The reason that I was a one-upper is because I felt the need to fit into a group, and I never felt like I did fit into a group, the whole socially awkward thing. Yeah, so my way of trying to fit in was to tell the same types of stories, only better. And some of them were just flat out lies. I'm not gonna lie to you now, but I definitely lied then. And I had no idea what I was talking about. I just pulled bits and pieces from what other people had said. Sometimes I did an internet search before I would talk about it, just because I wanted to fit in. And I don't know where the one-upping really came in other than trying to solidify my friendship in the group. I don't know. I really don't. And unfortunately, I cannot say that I did this just in my teens. I actually did this in my young adult years. And there's the cringe part again. In college, because I was socially awkward and didn't know what else to do. And it reminds me of that saying. There's a saying, and honest to God, I cannot right now remember who said it. But if you know who says this, put it in the comment section below. But it's, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think that you think that I am. Get it? Okay, let's break that down. So, most of the times and I'm not saying about everybody because I can't ever make a blanket statement because blanket statements are not true. A lot of people emulate what they feel like a particular group, a particular person, or a particular culture, or whatever society that you are in wants to see. And so humans are social creatures. We want to fit in, so we emulate what we feel like we need to be part of a social group. Now here's the thing. When I'm going to give you a roundabout number. I would say I was about 25, 26 years old. So not that long ago. Cringe. I decided that I just don't fit in societal norms. I mean, I just don't. I have a weird sense of humor. I would be referred to, at least when I was a teenager, if you liked anime, if you liked Doctor Who, if you liked all this other stuff, you were a geek. Thor, you were a geek. So I guess that is part of my persona. I spent so many years fighting the weirdness that is this, that I never really truly found out who I was until 25 or 26 years old, when I started going, okay, I'm not happy. I don't like pretending to be something that I'm not. And I don't know how to be me because I've never been me. I've always emulated someone else. And again, one-upping was just one of my weird mechanisms to try and be like, friends, come here, come back, I love you, I need peeps in my life. That right there is why I don't have friends. I'm kidding. I have friends. I just have a very small group because not too many people can stand this, and that's okay. I've come to terms with that because that small group, those group of people, accept me for who I am. But first, to find those people that love me for who I am, pretty much no matter what I do. I'm not saying that I could do something horrible and they'll just be like, oh, that's Charlotte. But they love and accept me for who I am. And some of them, well, they're like me. And some are the complete opposite, but they still love me anyway. And that is such a cool feeling. And again, part of the reason that I was able to find these friendships and make these lasting connections is because I finally had accepted who I am. I'm weird. I'm Charlotte Ann McFarland, and I don't really fit into any corner. I'm that puzzle piece that's a little bit... I'm that puzzle piece that they're like, I have 50 puzzles here, and I don't know where this one goes to. That's me. And you know what? I'm okay with that now. So, what's my point? I guess they would be. Generally, my point is be who you are. Ultimately, that's what we need to start doing, is discovering who am I before we can start truly figuring out ourselves, figuring out our lives, figuring out what we want to do in life. So before I started really doing the soul searching, my mindset was on, okay, I'm going to go through college and I'm going to, oh gosh, I spent so long at community college. I'm embarrassed how long I spent there because I couldn't figure out my purpose in life and I couldn't figure out me. So I think I took like 90 credits. No, it was 108 credits. Wow. And I had no degree path in mind because every time I would try one, and I was usually going for the degree path that would get me the most money, money mindset, like I said in a way earlier video, not that way earlier, but an earlier video. And none of them panned out because I wasn't following my true calling. And my true calling was education. Now, I had this mindset that if I go into education, I will always be poor. And at that time, money was, well, yeah, power. It was power, and it's what I needed. Honestly, in my head, I felt like if I have more money, I'll be happy. And that was part of my journey, my failure journey right there. Spending more money than I needed to spend and spending a good 8 years. No, I have to give myself a little more credit than that. 6 years in community college. Don't look at me. And then another 2 for which one's my bachelor's? You probably can't see it. Another 2 for my bachelor's and another 2 for my master's in education. I spent a very long time trying to figure out what it is I was supposed to do, and I knew it all along. I mean, I've known from an early age that I was supposed to go into education. I just didn't want to because of the moolah. But again, every other avenue I had figured out, I thought I had figured out, I wasn't happy. And I lost interest real fast, and I failed a lot of classes. So when I started looking into myself and who I was, that's when I finally accepted that, yes, I'm going to go into the world of education. No, I'm not going to become a millionaire. And I realize now as I'm older that was never actually really on the horizon. But I can be happy and I can live within my means. So, yeah. Again, I really hope that people learn this lesson earlier than I did. When you have to spend that much time, and I mean, I look back and I go, okay, so the path that I took got me to where I am today. I love my job. I love my friends. I don't think I would have found them if I hadn't taken the journey that I did. But I do sometimes wonder what it would have been like if I had learned this lesson earlier. Now, I don't dwell on it because that's not good either. I mean, that's not good to do either. But I do occasionally have that what if I had started soul searching earlier. I started figuring out myself earlier. That is so important. So I guess the gotcha from this, the action item from this, is I would like to hear about your I'm trying to think, because I didn't think this part of the video through. I wasn't gonna do a call to action. I was just gonna post it as is. I would like to see what your mechanism is for soul searching. What do you do to discover yourself? And if you don't do anything, I highly recommend that you take a few minutes for yourself and do a little bit of research and put some technique into practice. For me, because I'm a very visual person and I write, for me, that was in the form of poetry. So I really did soul searching by just letting myself write freeform in poetry style. And when I left it for a little bit, and then I would come back and I would read it and go, oh, that's dark. A lot of my poetry was very, very dark. And that was really my, okay, what are the action items I can pull from this? What can I do so that this poem isn't my reality? So I would love to hear what mechanisms you guys have or discover and try. And another thing that I do need to emphasize is it may not work the first time. I'm not kidding. And something that I see is people go, well, I tried it, but it didn't really work, so I didn't try it again. And I'm like, it takes more than months. It's like weight loss. It takes consistent working at it and practice for it to work. So don't give up if it doesn't work right away. And if it doesn't, well, the only way that you fail is if you don't keep trying. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but this is one of my grandmother's favorite sayings. And it's one of mine too. So again, call to action. Find something to basically show yourself how you feel inside. And if you haven't really discovered yourself, use it as a way to discover yourself. Use it as a way to rediscover yourself. Do that research and do it for you. And if you would like to share, because like I said at the beginning of this series, it's #RealConvo. We need to be talking to each other and sharing that human kindness and sharing that human experience. So comment sections below are open. I do not turn those off, and I do try to respond, but I do work a full-time job, so I don't always. I'm acting like 100,000 people write comments on my videos. They don't. But I do try to respond, because I do try to make this more interactive. So anyway, that was my long-winded way of saying goodbye. And yeah, so Bye! I hope you have a wonderful day. Classic shot of me leaning in to close off.